The Electric Soul. Part 3. Space, Time, and Numbers. In the earlier episodes, I introduced the idea that reality may function like a vast, ordered simulation. Space and time give it structure. But there's a third principle operating quietly beneath them both: number. Numbers do not merely count things, they define pattern, sequence, and relationship. They are the architecture beneath experience. Across cultures and disciplines, the same numbers appear again and again, expressing themselves through different languages, yet carrying the same essential meaning. This episode focuses on the number 1, the meaning of 1. At first glance, 1 seems simple, but in a universe built on polarity, light and dark, positive and negative, 1 is mysterious. How can there be 1 in a reality based on duality? 1 represents origin, initiative, the spark before division. It is the point from which polarity emerges. Across systems of knowledge, 1 consistently plays the same role: the instigator, the initiator, the animating principle. Let us see how this unfolds. Astrology. 1 in a cycle of 12. In astrology, 1 in the cycle of 12 corresponds to the first sign of the zodiac, traditionally called Aries. The name is secondary. What matters is position. 1 in 12 represents beginning, initiative, assertion, the ignition of a new cycle. It is the moment life pushes forward. The seed breaks the soil. The first breath is taken. The tarot, the magician tarot, the magician. In the tarot's major arcana, card number 1 is the magician, 4. The magician stands with 1 hand pointing upward and 1 downward, symbolizing as above, so below. On the table before him lie the 4 elements: wand, fire, cup, water, sword, air, pentacle, earth. The magician does not create the elements. He channels spirit into them. He brings invisible potential into visible form. Here 1 represents focused, will, directed intention. The bridge between spirit and matter. It is consciousness acting through the elements. The I Ching. 1 in the world of 8. The I Ching is built from binary opposites, broken and unbroken lines. From these simple distinctions arise 8 trigrams, and from them, 64 hexagrams. In this system, 1 expresses creative force, heaven, the initiating father principle, pure yang energy. From a simple polarity emerges structured complexity, much like binary code in modern computing. In the language of numbers, cycles often appear in groups of 8. We see this in the 8 trigrams of the I Ching, and we also see it in chemistry. In the periodic table, elements are arranged in repeating patterns that form chemical families. The first column of each cycle contains the alkali metals, including elements such as sodium and potassium. These metals share a common personality. They are highly reactive and often explosive when they encounter water. They ignite easily and release energy with remarkable force. Symbolically, this mirrors the nature of the number 1. 1 represents initiation, ignition, and the first spark of activity. Just as the alkali metals react instantly and energetically, the number 1 begins the cycle. It is the impulse that starts the process of creation. In this way, the language of chemistry quietly echoes the same numerical pattern found in astrology, myth, and ancient philosophy. Chemistry. 1 in the world of elements. In chemistry, number defines identity. The atomic number determines the element. 1 corresponds to hydrogen. Hydrogen represents simplicity, primordial existence, the most abundant element in the universe. From hydrogen, stars ignite. From stars, heavier elements form. From those elements, planets and life arise. Again, 1 is the beginning. Geometry and music. In geometry, 1 is the point, dimensionless yet foundational. In music, 1 is the tonic, the note from which the scale unfolds and to which it returns. In both, one is center, reference, origin, the one myth. Parsifal. The archetype of one also appears in myth. Parsifal begins as an innocent youth, unaware of his purpose. He encounters the Grail castle but fails to ask the essential question. Only after wandering, suffering, and awakening does he return, this time conscious, and restores the wounded king. Parsifal represents the solitary seeker, the awakening of self-awareness, the journey from unconscious impulse to conscious will. Like the number one, he begins alone. His task is to become aware of his role within a greater order. The problem of one. In a dual universe, one cannot stand alone. If an individual identifies entirely as the one, separate and self-sufficient, polarity will arise to correct the imbalance. In mathematics, we see this tension. Zero resists division. One multiplied by anything remains itself. Earlier science proposed an invisible medium filling space, ether. Though discarded by modern physics, the concept points toward something profound, an invisible equilibrium beneath visible forces. Imagine perfect balance. Two forces in tension but indistinguishable. When disturbed, they separate into positive and negative. From this separation come electricity, particles, atoms, and eventually life. At every stage, one initiates, two polarizes, structure unfolds. The universal language of number across disciplines. Astrology. One begins the cycle. Tarot. One channels spirit into matter. I Ching. One is creative force. Chemistry. One is hydrogen, primordial substance. Myth. One is the solitary seeker awakening to purpose. Geometry. One is the point. Music. One is the tonic. Different languages, same pattern. Numbers are not inventions. They are expressions of order. They are the grammar of reality. This is the essence of these videos, to show that number is the universal language connecting all levels of creation. Science today is highly specialized. Physicists, chemists, biologists, each field speaks its own technical language. That language often becomes inaccessible to others. When vocabulary becomes isolated, understanding becomes fragmented. Astrology offers something different. It is a symbolic language built on number and cycle. It provides a vocabulary that connects levels of reality, from the smallest particles to the largest galaxies. The purpose of this series is not to dismiss science. It is to unify perspectives, to show that space, time, and number operate together across all scales of creation. If reality is structured like a simulation, then numbers are not secondary. They are foundational. In the next episode, we will explore the number 2, the principle of polarity, and follow it through every level of existence. If this perspective resonates with you, consider supporting the work. Like the video, subscribe, leave a comment, and share it with others who are open to exploring a deeper structure beneath reality.